And I would like to focus in a few questions. And if we have extra time, we can address a different question. But I would like everybody have their question and somewhere they, in case then we have more questions. If we have more time to address more questions after we address just a few in order to cover just the 15 minutes is required to cover this meeting for 15 minutes. And because everybody's busy with another stuff, another things at home or studies. But welcome everybody, and I would like to start with one of the questions. Is the question number 13, and this question is about this question start with, yes, my mouse is not working. It's no, okay. It's a few, that question 13 is covered different sub questions, but basically I would like to address with the question, what threats to children, families in our society are you focused on? And if everybody understands my question, that question 13, they can, or everybody can follow their own questions. That list of the questions that they can follow me. And the threat for the family that I am focused on is about fatherlessness. Fatherlessness. Yes, this is my threat that I am focused on. Is for to basically, we as a parents, we are responsible to help our children to develop their character. And it's very important that how much as a parents we help our children to guide them, and when the children don't, or the parents are not involved in the children's life, cause many difficulties to the child development, emotional development. And this is my focus. Now I left to the rest to, I don't know who would like to address what they are and what trait all of you are focused on, and then go from there.
I can say what threat I'm focused on next. So the threat that I chose was cohabitation. Do you want me to just answer all these questions, or?
The 13 one. Let's go to just to spend 8 minutes to address that question. Everybody can say what traits they are focused on.
Okay.
You can address what, basically talk just briefly why you choose that topic.
So I chose this topic because I've had several friends and family members who have chosen to cohabitate prior to marriage, and I've seen the damage that it can do in their lives. And, you know, one thing that I think that we as members of the church need to do so that we can combat it is just stand up for marriage and support, you know, marriage as a, I guess, institution, and try to get society to see that there is a difference between just living together versus being married and raising children in a marriage situation versus a cohabitation situation.
Thank you. Anyone? Any comments about what Gina said?
Yeah, I also I decided to choose cohabitation as well, just because I also have some family members that have chosen to cohabit. And I think that what the Lord expects us to do is to stand up for that which is right, like no matter what, and just not check our religion at the door, like what Elder Holland said. And also just by living by example in our own marriages, and showing that the ideal is the best. I really like the example from Marsha Barlow. She talked about how, like, the liberalist noticed a difference in the two girls and their lives, between the girl that decided to cohabit and the one that decided to marry. And using his own type of reasoning and values, he was able to see that they weren't equal. So that's just a thought I had.
Thank you, Antaya. Diana, do you where did you focus? I mean, you focus on?
So I chose to do radical feminism and the attacks on gender, mostly because I feel like I got married really young, and then we started our family, and I found the people that are hardest on me for it and the most critical of my choices are women, and they're usually Latter-day Saint women. They think that I I don't know, they don't say it, but they act as though I enslaved myself because those are the decisions I made. And I just see radical feminists attack husbands, and you see it in the media all the time, like men are dumb, men are these sex drivers. And I just feel like as a mother and as a woman, that it's our job to stand up for the family, and that women understand the family maybe more than anybody else. And so I think it's really, really sad that women are the ones who are attacking the family the most. And so I don't know, I was just really passionate about it because radical feminism drives me crazy, because they preach loving yourself and loving being a woman, but then they degrade everything about being a woman. And so it's really
right.
Me too.
Thank you. Bobby, what you focus on?
My topic I'm focusing on is pornography. I'm actually taking the 1-hour class on pornography, but when we were talking before the semester started about that, my husband and I were talking about how it is such a big problem within the church, and it's only getting bigger. And so we need to look at ways to advocate it. My children, my youngest son's leaving on a mission next week, and so but I have all these grandchildren growing up in this world and don't want them to have to deal with it, because it tears marriages and families apart. I've seen it happen.
Okay, thank you. I lost in my list. I think I lost it, but who has that list in front of you about what is the next sub question about that question 13? Who has it in front of you on your screen? I am trying to open mine.
So I have it. So the next part of the question is, how much do you think this problem is present in the church?
Okay, Gina, can you address that? Can you talk about it?
So for mine, cohabitation, I know it happens within the church, but I think what happens is once people start cohabitating, they stop coming to church. And so you don't see it as much within active members. But I do know that there are a lot of, and I can't say exact numbers, but I do know there are a lot of young members of the church that decide to stop coming and end up cohabitating with somebody. So it is a problem that we do need to protect and warn our children against, because just because we're members of the church doesn't mean that it won't
Yeah. Talk to
affect
me
us.
about my two daughters that both cohabitated before they got married, and we bribed one of them to get married. So yeah.
Well, yeah, my sister, my parents actually looked at her. She was living with a guy, and they said, you either need to get married or stop living with him. And so
I actually love that it kind of like that you pointed out it happens in the church, Gina, because I was just thinking, there's these two people in our area that I know, and she's LDS and he's not. And because they couldn't get married in the temple, she refuses to marry him, but they live together. And so it's super interesting because like I think that when it does happen within the church, it has the most interesting reasons.
yeah.
Diana, how do you see that thread in that church about what is the thread, feminism? I mean,
So I think that radical feminism is on the rise in the church. I don't think it ever used to be in the church, but all of a sudden, in the last couple of years, we see women screaming because they don't have the priesthood, or they, like, women that work outside the home feel that they need to attack women that don't. And so I do think that it's in the church. I don't know if it's obviously not labeled as that in the church, but you definitely see it all the time. And I know, like, in my own experience with it, and because I live in Idaho, so you could label that as a very conservative LDS area. Even like when I got married, the radical feminism idea that marriage and children are slavery isn't what people said to me, but people would be like, "Oh, you got married really young. You gave up so much. Like, you're missing out on so many experiences. Like, are you sure you don't want to get married later? Because you just need to live a little first." Which isn't saying marriage is slavery, but it's saying that getting married takes away from everything else. So I do think it is in the church. I just don't think we recognize that it's in the church.
what do you think, Natalia? What do you think about, what do you see cohabitation in church? Like Regina and happen more than even Bobby say, happen more than we thought. People living together, they become less active than living together, then got married. That is something that happened that we are not realized, because I am not know much, because I don't know their personal lives. I don't ask. But let's go to the other part of that question is about. I try to put it in my mouse. Okay, my mouse. Okay, they say what hope does the gospel of Jesus Christ offer to those affected by suffering from this stress? What hope does we have as a members, or hope the gospel bring to us? I mean, what is the hope then? Okay, Bobby.
Okay, so you're asking, what does the Lord expect from us to combat this threat?
I misread that. I think they say the hope. I mean.
What hope does the gospel? Okay, that's the other. Okay, so
yes.
that's kind of okay.
Oh, yes, it's part of that. What hope does the gospel of Jesus Christ offer to those affected by that or suffering for those threats? Like, what is the hope then? Then, for example, for you children was living in cohabitation for a while, and then it's basically, what was the hope the gospel
So,
bring to you?
well, the gospel, first of all, the gospel offers the atonement of Jesus Christ. So people that are, affected by or suffering from pornography addiction, they can turn to Christ and receive the, help, plus the church has set up the addiction recovery program that's helpful to those. Definitely those that are affected, like the family of somebody that's addicted to pornography, definitely needs the gospel in their lives, the atonement, because they're dealing with betrayal and other emotional issues in their lives.
Thank you, Bobby. Mataya, what did you touch about this one?
So I talked about cohabitation. So I just talked about like how the gospel offers hope of eternal families. So if we have family members that stray, we can still have that hope that through the atonement, they can be forgiven once they choose to come unto Christ, and that our families can be eternal and still together.
That big hope, right? This is not part of the trade, but for me, I lost my daughter almost 10 years ago in a pedestrian accident. To know that I have the hope, the gospel, then I know I'm going to see her because we are still together for eternity. This is a hope. The gospel brings us any threats or any trials or any difficulties that we go through. The gospel helps us, bring us to hope, to don't give up. We are not we don't have the permission to give up, basically. Okay, Gina, what did you tell about this one?
Well, like it's been said, you have the atonement, and through eternal marriages and whatnot, you do have that hope. And one thing that I love about the atonement is it covers more than just when we sin. You can, if you're struggling with something, the atonement's there to help you. I don't want to say help you feel better about it, but to help comfort you and to give you the hope that, yeah, you might be struggling right now or having these issues right now, but in the future, it will get better.
The gospel bring hope. The gospel bring to us. For me, peace. I am not happy that she's gone. No, but I am happy to know that I'm going to see her again. That I know she's fine. That I know I know exactly where she is, exactly that what place, but I know she's with our Savior, and that is a peace that I need for the rest of my life because I'm going to miss her the rest of my life. But the gospel in my family is everything for me, and it's a lot of it's meaning too much for me and for me. But thank you for all. Okay, we are going to.
Hey, can I ask?
Start with the. I'm sorry.
Can I want to ask Gina and Mataya something, because this is my one daughter couldn't care less. She's hippie and lives in whatever, but my other daughter, she keeps on telling me that because and I know she knows the gospel principles behind this because she was taught, but she keeps on saying that my husband and I, we love each other enough. They started out by cohabitating. She got pregnant. His brother adopted the baby because they weren't going to get married. Anyway, they ended up getting married. So they're the aunt and uncle. They have since had a child. But their whole thing is that we love each other enough that God will let us be together forever. How do you deal with that kind of a thing? Because you go, no, Heavenly Father loves you enough, yes, that He's shown you the pathway how to be together forever. And they don't get it. They're both members.
I think part of it is, so I honestly don't know how to answer it, but I do know, like, we're given certain understandings for the level of where we're at in the gospel. And I think until they are at a point where they want to understand more, there's probably nothing you're going to be able to do to get them to understand more. I had a friend who got married in the temple and found out afterwards that her husband was not worthy at all to go through the temple. And he had been through the lessons, he had done everything, and he seriously thought, well, because we were married in the temple, I still have you forever. You know, it doesn't matter that I'm not worthy, I still have you. And because he didn't understand, there was nothing she could do to explain to him that that's not how it worked. And so until they're at a level and ready and open for that understanding, they're not gonna get it, I don't think.
Yeah, I would just add to that. So my dad actually just recently decided to cohabit with his girlfriend. So that's been hard, but I think just something that I learned from this lesson myself is that even though you don't condone what they're doing, you should definitely show love towards them. And I think that is what makes the biggest of difference when you approach it, is the love and the intention of your heart when you're around them. I'm trying to remember.
We are going to talk, this is, I think, the next question about how we can show love and compassion to those that are to all of us, because all of us have been being treated for somehow, one way or another. Just basically, this is the next question. I think, everybody's, no more comments about it, Diana, or no more comments about this one? Okay, let's move to the next question. And this one is the question. Okay, let me see, because I highlight this question. The question number 4 is what characteristics and attributes did Elder Holland expound on that will make use more effective family advocating? I said, show compassion, but keep God's commandments. Use righteous judgment, live your values to bless your families, friends, and community. We have to try, we have to wish to be strong. It's basically how we can help others to advocate, be more effective, show compassion. This is what Mataya, you are doing. You are showing compassion to your dad, and I show compassion to myself with my own trials, with others. And Bobby, how about this question about Elder Holland?
Well, I put down, they're basically his bullet points of everything he talked under. It says, never check your religion at the door. Because when we do that, we can't advocate. We need to show compassion, but we need to be loyal to the commandments. It's more important to love Heavenly Father and his commandments than it is to love our children or whoever we're talking about. But that doesn't mean that we don't love them and show compassion and judge and stuff. Judge righteous judgments and live your life, but live your life to reflect the love of Christ, because Christ loves those people just as much as he loves us. And so we need to try and understand where they're coming from, and listen. You know, Brother Holland, Elder Holland talked about each of those issues very clearly.
Thank you, then. Diana, no, you're busy, but you can, how about you tell us about this question?
So I basically have everything that everybody else has, but I think the characteristic that stuck out to me the most was the fact that he talked about that we do have to learn how to show compassion while finding a way to have loyalty to the commandments. And I really liked how he talked about how hard that was even for him as an apostle. I think it gave me a lot of hope because like it's hard, and it's hard not because you don't have compassion for them, but it's hard when you're so passionate about something or you know a truth to be true. It's hard to explain it without hurting their feelings and without offending them or attacking them. It's like the little video we watched with the girl in the class. Like I don't think very many people mean to do it. They don't want to be mean or offensive or attack that person. But I think it just, you're so passionate about it and you know that it's the truth, that it is hard. And even when you're trying your hardest to be kind, like they can take it that you're being a bigot or that you're trying to attack them as a person. And so I really thought that was the most interesting characteristic that he thought we had to learn how to do, because it's so hard to do. And I really appreciated that he acknowledged that it was hard to do.
Thank you, Diana. Mataya, any thoughts about this one?
Yeah, I found a whole bunch of stuff. You guys have covered a lot of it. One thing that stuck out to me was he said that we have the responsibility to judge, but we should judge righteously and not self-righteously. And I feel like sometimes I was taking that approach, like comparing what I'm doing to what they're doing. And that's being self-righteous, thinking that what I'm doing is better or that I'm better. And just recognizing that, you know, how the Savior would look at them. And I feel like that's part of the compassion side of it. But also not checking our religion at the door. And what did he said, sorry, I'm trying to find it. I don't know, I can't find it, but you know, just always living our religion and being an example to those around us, no matter where we're at, and you know, just finding that good balance between having compassion but also not checking your religion at the door. So yeah, you guys kind of already touched on that, but those are thoughts that I had.
Thank you, Mataya. Gina?
I just echoing what everybody else said, that, you know, we need to, like everybody else said, not check our religion at the door and be compassionate, and the not judging people or self-judging or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact wording, but, you know, righteously judging people.
Thank you, Gina. Let's move to the next question. Is number 5. How is a Christ-like character necessary in order to understand and even to love others who disagree with us? I like what the elder Ox talk about the challenge to become. He said that instead of being judgmental about others' differences, we should be concerned about ourselves. We must not give up hope. We must not stop striving. We are children of God, and it is possible for us to become what our Heavenly Father will have us to become. Basically, the point about this meeting is about challenges with the differences. And we can see how much differences affect in different levels. About this, we can see apply in many levels. Since I was little, I was affected by I come from a big family, 5 girls, 6 girls, and 4 boys. It's 10 children my parents have. is we always end up kind of debating in differences. We all are different. But somehow they always told me, you are so different. You are so different. They bullied me, say, my dad adopt you because you are very different than compared to us. So I always feel so bad because I always feel, I think we are not so different. Even if we are different, okay, it's okay. But it took me a while to overcome the feelings, and I feel bad because to be different from my siblings. And but I learned then the more I accept who I am, the more I less care about what the people thinking about me. I get mature and I learn, and I am fine who I am. I am different. It's okay to be different. But the point that what the Christ like I attribute is to we need to learn to accept others, to see us as a child. We are different characteristics, but we are all of us are children of God. This is we are the same because until for Him we are the same, and He wants to us um, to stop to judge about the differences between others people. And any comments, Bobby, about this question and about differences, how we can um, address better, or like the brothers, this question talking about.
So you're talking about this is the one where others disagree with you, right? I think,
Yes, is how is like I say,
yeah,
how is Christ like characteristics?
yeah,
How
okay.
Christ
That's why I thought I don't know. I I got sidetracked with what you were
basically.
saying. So anyway, yeah, I'm just saying that a Christ-like character is necessary because it helps us look past the argument and see the person. When we can understand that the person, they really believe this, and we can understand, ask questions like in the little video, the girl, she when she came back and talked to that agitator, she one of the things she said is, I want to understand where you're coming from, what you're understanding. And so we need to do that with Christ-like love, to really understand, not just, oh, I gotcha, but really understand where they're coming from. And when we can do that, then we can find what common ground we have and move from there.
Yes, it's true. What about the Christ like I am using, applying with my siblings? Start with myself, then my siblings, with my who around me, community, church members. Is I am learning, then I try apply to to respect others' differences and to focus in the good that other people has. Know what things then are doing um, different than me, or things. Just I am trying to do my best. I feel much better when I now try to be see people around me, even myself, is with like Christ-like, and in accept accept and respect others' differences, or beliefs in this case about religion. This okay. Gina, any thoughts about this one?
Well, I think so. When I think of character, character is a lot deeper than your personality, and so to have a Christ-like character means that you truly are like Christ. And when you're in the heat of a discussion about something that you're really passionate about, if you truly have like a Christ-like character, that's what's going to come out when you're super passionate. And so it's easier to understand and to love others when you're in that heated argument or discussion, if you have one, you know, if you're 100% have a Christ-like character. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I think
Yes.
like I don't know that any of us other than Christ have 100% Christ-like characters. Like Elder Holland that was saying he even has issues being or not being kind to people, but I don't remember. Sorry, my
He
brain's
was
a little.
upset because he wanted to smack that guy to say,
Yeah.
"We kick our religion at the door."
Yeah. And so we don't always, you know, have that 100% Christ-like character, but as we're working towards it, I think it will be easier to not want to smack that person, or, you know, to not get as upset or emotional in a bad way when it comes to these heated topics.
Yes, you're right. Diana, thank you, Gina. Diana, any question, any comments about this one?
I think it's been covered really well, but I think that, like, kind of Bobby hit on it, was part of having a Christ-like character is you truly understand exactly where that person's coming from and why they believe what they believe. And so I think it is important to try and put yourself in their shoes and see exactly why they believe what they believe and why they're so confrontational with you. Because more likely than not, they've had a bad experience with the church, or something's gone wrong with the church that really is why they're attacking the church so hard. Or it's just guilt. But I think that if you can put yourself in their shoes, it's a lot easier to love them and talk to them.
Thank you, Diana. Matai, any comments, or we move to the next question?
I was just going to add, like, what Christ-like character is defined as. So it's some things I came up with was patience, so not fighting back to others who challenge you, so keeping your anger in check, and then being bold but agreeable, so you don't have to win an argument. That's not what it's about. And humble yourself enough to listen to others and be understanding, and then just having that respect for them.
Thank you. It's a key word, right? Respect. We say, we have a saying in Mexico. I am from Mexico. I don't know that I told you already, but we have a saying in Mexico. A wonderful president that we have many years ago. He said that to respect others. It's difficult to translate in English, the Spanish from English, but to respect others is the peace. If we respect others, it's a peace. This is why we don't have peace, because we don't respect each other. Differences. So basically, the key word is respect. I want to just the last question. Then I would like to address. If we have time, we can address more questions. But is the number 10. They say, how can we show compassion? We already something addressed this about compassion, but how can we show compassion with those who might be angry with us or the church, yet still remain faithful followers of God's laws and put Him first in our lives? We say something about loving God first. Certainly, we need to be mindful that our love is not attempting to ignore or override God's laws. Basically, I think Bobby said something that, I don't know, I would like to say here too, in our advocacy efforts in out to the house, we must never invert the first or second agree covenant. Our knowledge of that trust in God our Father must always come first. It's basically we sometimes I do sometimes as a mothers we love our children so much in a way that brothers understand, God understands. Jesus, that we as a mothers we love our children so much, and sometimes they do something wrong, and or we sometimes we love our children more than our Savior, that more than God. Basically, for mothers, it's very difficult sometimes to don't cross that line. First God, then our children. And this is what I learned a lot about to remind me, don't cross the line. First God, and when we serve God first, we can help others better because we are with the Lord help all the time. Okay, Bobby, what did you comment about this one?
How about if you let somebody else go first? Because I end up saying stuff and they go, oh, yeah.
Gina. Okay, Gina.
So when I read this question, I have had conversation with friends who are not members and who are very against the church. And there have been times where I have just had to look at them and say, okay, because I respect you, I need to back away because we are never going to agree on this. And, you know, my opinion and your opinions are obviously different. And this is not something that we are going to be able to agree on, or even that we can speak decently about anymore, really. And so because I value that friendship and, you know, respect that person as a person, I've had to say, let's either find a different topic or I'm going to excuse myself from the situation. And that way I'm not backing down from my beliefs and I'm no longer pushing their beliefs. Because most of the time it's them getting more heated than I am when it comes to somebody who is angry with the church or with something. And so to just take that step back and say, okay, I respect you as a person and I respect that you have the right to believe what you want or to think what you want. Let's just stop discussing this or find a different topic.
Thank you, Gina. Diana?
Yeah, I really like your comments, Gina. I think that's really good to acknowledge the things that we just can't talk about with other people because, like, it's not their fault. It's ours that we just get too heated and passionate about it. The one thing that I would add to that is that, so we also have to love people and be kind to them. And I think that we need to show them that we'd still do things for them or go out of our way to be their friend. And that we're doing it because we love them, not because we want them to agree with our ideas or to join our church. Because I think we see, like, a lot of times that people that are outside the church feel that church members are only reaching out to them because they want them to join the church and not because they actually have a genuine care or concern about them. So I think we need to make sure that we're careful that we always let other people feel that we actually care about them and that we'll actually be there to help them. And then that, you know, quite sneakily helps give them a good name about the church. And when you love them first and you're kind to them first, then they're more willing to talk to you about stuff like that. And then I think you also have to acknowledge that there's people out there that when they ask you a question about the church, they're just asking because they want to start a fight. They want to pick you apart. They want to throw stuff in your face. There was a young man I went to high school with, and he would ask questions, and I would ignore them because he was asking them to start a fight. And he read a lot of articles and a lot of stuff to, you know, disprove the Mormons. And so really in that instance, the best thing to do was just be like, I'm not even going to answer your question because you're not listening with an open heart. You don't want to know what I have to say. You just want to start a fight. So I think we have to acknowledge those people. And even though we can still love them, like me and this kid still got along, we just have to know that there are people that don't want to listen to us.
Thank you, then. Matai, any comments?
Yes. What question was this? What number? Sorry, I was taking notes.
Number 10. Number 10.
I think it's just kind of stuff we've already covered about, just working on developing that Christ-like character and then demonstrating that to them.
Yes, specifically. This because I think when I do when I thought, then okay, cover this question because we've been faced, but we are going to face more. And I have a feeling that it's not really scare me because the Lord say, fear not, I am with thee, I am with you. And but yes, this is coming. I know it's coming. More difficult times for us as a members. We need to learn to educate ourselves. I need to educate myself. I need to develop the character that the Lord wants me to become, what the Lord wants me to become, in order to be defend and stand up from what my beliefs and respect others their beliefs, but be strong when they ask me and question. Then I say I don't know the answer. I can say straight, I don't know the answer. But I remember once when my husband, mom, she was not a member, and she started talking about her against our church, and my husband said, "Mom, read the Book of Mormon. The answers are there. Why you asking?" And something, then find by yourself. Read the Book of Mormon, pray, and you are going to receive all your answers. This is what it's always, because my husband is the only member of the church. He grew up in a Presbyterian church. It's basically his mom, brothers, and family they are Presbyterian, and they always against the church. It's basically my husband born in Nauvoo stake. You can imagine how for him my husband was very hard, the only member, and his family in a very anti-church Mormons in Nauvoo stake, and 30 years ago. And he always had a strong testimony of the gospel. People against him and talk, but he always say, "If you have any question, read the Book of Mormon." He prays Heavenly Father. But now we need more than that. Now the answer is we need more than that. We need to educate. I need to educate myself and to defend, because we need to advocate for our beliefs, and more than just simple, I know what they believe, this is I believe, and that's it. No, we need to do more. I need to do more than that. But we have just 4 minutes left, and anyone like to talk about read data manager? Mataya, do you want to summarize like Bobby said last time, or skip that one, or just talk about a different question than anyone that would like to talk about it?
Yeah, I did take notes, so I tried. Everyone was saying such good things, I was really focused in, but I can do the summary if you want.
I don't know that in the post you put it, you was a summary, right? I don't know, you
Yes.
say, or I don't know what you say, right?
Yeah, I can do the summary. So first we talked about, let's see, where's my notes start? We talked about threats we're focusing on, and we have fatherlessness, cohabitation, radical feminism, and pornography. And we talked about the different reasons why those tear marriage and families apart. And then we talked about how we can find hope through the gospel. And we decided through the atonement of Jesus Christ, for sin and also for struggles. There's more to it than just the sin part. And then also the hope of eternal families and marriages. And also, we don't have the permission to give up. So just the power it gives us to endure. And also the Savior brings peace. And then Christ-like characteristics to help us be better family advocates that we talked about are showing compassion while also standing firm to your beliefs and not checking religion at the door. And then judge righteous judgment, but not self-righteous judgment. And also knowing how to control our passion about a topic while also being understanding toward them. And then we went on to talk about how Christ-like character is important in understanding differences. And we talked about how it's okay with being different. No, we should be okay with being different. And we should also be kind to others for their differences. And that we should remember we are the same because we are all children of God. And then Bobby talked about how Christ-like character helps us look past the difference. It helps us to understand where they're coming from. With Christ-like love, we are able to find common ground and know where to move from there. And then Diana talked about how if we, or it might have been Gina actually. Anyway, one of you guys talked about how if we're truly Christ-like, then when we're in an argument, or I guess not an argument, but we're able to keep our composure or Christ's composure when we're talking to somebody about it. And then the last thing we talked about is how do we keep God at the front of the equation when loved ones or others don't agree with or live contrary to what we know is right? And essentially we said, love God the most and put him first, and also have respect for each other and excuse yourself if it's needed or find a new topic. So just not allowing it to become contentious. And then, love people still despite those differences. Show that you love them for who they are, not to join our church, but have genuine love and interest in them. And then when people are asking to start a fight, just don't go there. Still love them, but don't fall into the trap of arguments. And then lastly, just keep working on gaining that Christ-like character and demonstrate that to others with boldness. Don't be afraid to live the gospel and to believe what you believe. And that sums it up.
Thank you so much, Mattia. Thank you, Diana, Gina, Bobby, for your participation and comments. And really appreciate your patience. And I did my best to lead that. I hope so. I did the best. I tried to do the best to lead this conversation, but I think we can conclude the meeting and see you next Tuesday. If it's okay for everybody, we can do 9 o'clock next time. 9 Mountain Time, same time next Tuesday, and until I believe Bobby
Yeah, it's me. I have this the next 2 weeks, I think, and then and it might only be next week. I might be finished next week.
Then we can move to earlier for Mattia and Diana. Move earlier. I am open earlier. Just Bobby, let us know when you are ready to move earlier, like 7. So who say 7 or Diana, Mattia, who say earlier, better for children up before children get up awake.
Yeah,
I don't know.
For me. Thank you.
Okay.
I do have a question. Someone said that they could tell us how to record it and post this so that people like I can actually take a turn doing it, because I'm like a techno-tard.
Yeah, if you look in the bottom of your Zoom, like, screen, there's a little record button. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
So once we get ready to go, you just click that button, and then once you leave the meeting, it will automatically download to your computer, and then you'll just want to upload that to YouTube. Do you know how to do that?
Maybe.
I could share my screen and show you for anyone that wants to stay. You don't have to, but
Yeah. It's either that or